Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is directed by J.A. Bayona, and this is the fifth installment into the Jurassic Park franchise. And once again, this film follows Claire and Owen as they attempt to rescue the remaining dinosaurs from Isla Nublar in an attempt to save them before a once dormant volcano erupts, killing all life on the island. In 1993, Steven Spielberg introduced Jurassic Park, and since then, it has become one of my favorite movies of all time. Unfortunately, even Steven Spielberg himself was not able to recapture the magic of the first film with the incredibly disappointing sequel, The Lost World, which is by no means a terrible film. It's just nowhere as near as good as it should be. And since then, with each consecutive sequels, the movies have just gotten worse and worse and worse. Now, I personally found Jurassic World to be a very disappointing film. I think that movie had the opportunity to kind of push the reset button on this universe and deliver something really unique and fresh. But instead, they took the absolute laziest route possible and decided to do just a bigger budget remake of Jurassic Park. And unfortunately, that trend continues with Fallen Kingdom, which is just a bigger budget remake of The Lost World. I can't tell you how many times I outwardly sighed watching this movie because of how many plot points they pulled from other Jurassic Park movies, or how much imagery is just ripped straight out of other Jurassic Park movies. Because of that reason and many others, I just found this film to be completely infuriating from start to finish. Because this film essentially opens with Claire being approached by this company to go back onto the island, and she recruits Owen to recapture some of these dinosaurs so they aren't killed. She's kind of like an animal rights activist, but for dinosaurs. And it just kind of made me laugh because there's a moment in this film where Claire is talking to someone on the phone and she's like, this volcano is going to erupt and kill all of the dinosaurs on that island. Do you really want this to happen? And I was just sitting there like, probably. And I thought watching this movie that they would perhaps try to convince me that they were deserving to live and to be saved, but this movie did nothing but convince me otherwise. And that narrative thread of, hey, maybe these dinosaurs have rights too, is just abandoned almost immediately. But no, so many times in this movie, these characters are like, well, I guess we have no choice. We have to save the dinosaurs. And I'm like, did you guys see the other Jurassic Park movies? It didn't really end well for them. And it honestly makes a lot of these characters even more difficult to root for, which, to be fair, the first movie didn't really help in that regard either. So you are kind of trapped with these characters that I did not care about in a film that is essentially a remake of a separate, average Jurassic Park movie, and a story that is just so uninteresting. And I'll give it to Jurassic World. When I was watching that movie, I was never bored, but with this film, it reaches a certain point where it just slams on the brake and screeches to a halt. The villains as well in this film are again just so corny, and once again they're trying to weaponize these dinosaurs. One of the dumbest ideas in Jurassic World they bring back in this film. There's one scene where they bring out this dinosaur and they're like, it's pretty much an alive tank, and I'm like, you know what's better than an alive tank? A tank, you know, one that you could like put people inside of and ride around, that's not trying to kill you and has a big gun on it. And not only that, but it's infuriating watching this film and seeing these characters not change at all from beginning to end. It just felt like I was watching just a sequence of events happening to them. They don't really have any sort of character arc or really any sort of change at all. And it's because of reasons like that that just contribute to this movie just being an absolute slog to get through. And so what you're left with in this film is essentially just a monster movie, which is not what Jurassic Park is. The series is not dinosaurs creeping out of the shadows like some type of monster from a horror movie. And it's frustrating because Jurassic Park is not just a movie about cool dinosaurs. There are great character moments and great, memorable characters at that. And this film has none of that. There are no memorable sequences in this movie. All of the new characters in this film are insufferable. The villains alone are just as corny and just as cliched as the villains in Rampage. Just these money-hungry, cartoonish villains that are, again, practically twirling their mustaches as they maniacally laugh. And this entire film just feels like they want to get to a certain point with Jurassic Park 3. And some of the events in the end of this movie just they just completely floored me, and not in a good way either. Because I saw this film at an advanced screening, and I think the entirety of the audience at the same part went, what? I don't know how this franchise does it. This series just gets worse and worse as the films go on, and I expect a lot more from this franchise, especially so with director J.A. Bayona, whose work I have enjoyed very much so in the past, and I thought he would be able to take Colin Trevorrow's script and maybe offer some type of unique spin on it, but I guess not. I think this franchise is really just kind of dead to me at this point. The more and more I think about this movie, the more it begins to really annoy me, and I struggle to think of any moments in this film that I thought were truly memorable. And honestly, I will be completely content if I go the rest of my life without seeing another Jurassic Park movie, because this is by far the worst in the franchise. So did you guys see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video. And if you did, you can click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie related things. Again, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.